Blame it on the, yep. Oh, I'm not going to say it now that we're live. That would have been funny. Blame it on the V. All right, guys, I am fired up, jacked up, and excited as usual. John Melton coming to you live with mylifestyleacademy.com. And today we're going to talk about all things video. Drop it to the comments. Let me know if you're currently using video marketing specifically to generate leads, build your brand, promote your business, your products, et cetera, because this is going to be a viable conversation for those of you wanting to build your business, leveraging the interwebs, because today we're going to talk about how to create, share, and promote live videos just period. And we're going to show you how to get more exposure in your videos, generate leads for your home business. So let me know in the comments where you're coming in from. If you're watching the replay, drop hashtag replay. If you're seeing me for the very first time, drop the word new in the comments. I'm just curious, how did you come across our page, our profile, this video? Let us know. Smash the heart button if you know Mr. Mark Harbert. Mark is a good friend of ours. We met him years ago in the same mastermind, and it's been about 5 years now, Mark, I believe.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, it's been a while.
Been a hot second. Time flies when you're having fun. You're crushing it as usual. I love your fancy microphone. Hey, we got to do something cooler with this.
I know. You should put yours in the screen too. I mean, we got.
I want mine to be like hanging, and we have the same microphone.
There's a certain club you got to be in, John.
Baby,
I will let you in, but
hang. You know what I'm saying?
It is already hanging.
But we're live right now on my personal profile over on our Facebook business page. We are live in the Social Marketing Recruiting Bootcamp and on Twitter and on YouTube. So we're all over the place. I'd highly recommend sharing this with anybody you know that's building their business online, because video is critical, whether it's TikTok videos, Instagram stories, IGTV, YouTube is kind of a big deal, Facebook Live. There's so many ways for you to project. There's so many ways for you to show up on video, but how many of us are also, admit it in the comments, tell the truth. How many of you are a little timid, a little shy? You don't want to talk about your videos. You're scared. I get it. I remember when I first started doing videos, Mark, I would love to hear how you got started with video, but we all start somewhere. And once you do like thousands of videos, then you start to feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm just kidding. Hopefully it happens sooner than thousands. Yeah. But for some of us, it might take hundreds, but you'd rather start now and embrace Suckville and embrace the challenge of doing videos, because down the road, a year from now, 5 years from now, you'll look back and be glad you started down this path. So Mark Harbert, excited to have you on. Would love for you to start off with our audience today as we're doing a live video, right? Yeah. We'd love for you to share a little bit about your background, your story, and also talk about how you got into building an online business and leveraging video.
Well, first off, I'm totally pumped to be here with you guys. Like, anytime John and Nadya write me and say, hey, can you do this? I'm like, just tell me when and where, and I'll be there. Anytime you guys you need me, I'm always here. So love you guys. Appreciate you big time. You guys are following the right people. Let me put it that way. So, but my story, I got started in network marketing, and when I was really searching out the internet, we're talking back in 2008. And, I was kind of running into the problem of, I was out at the shopping malls and the bookstores and the gas stations, and I was doing all that. And I was like, this interwebs is becoming very popular. And like I need to figure out how to leverage this in some way. And that's how I started going. And it just turned into this huge rabbit hole that I went down, and eventually led me to where I am today. But the unique thing is that the first time I ever did a video, because I realized very early on that video was a very important aspect to the internet. YouTube was just starting to it was only out for like a year or so, and it was kind of becoming a big deal. And so my very first video I ever did was a camcorder on top of this, tripod. And I'm talking like one of those like high 8 kind of non-digital. And in order to get the video to the computer, you had to jerry rig it with these huge, cables. And then you had to like play the video into the computer to transfer it over to create a file. I mean, it was a whole big deal. And when I had to go to school with 4 feet of snow, and that's kind of what it is. But that's really how I got started.
In my day.
Yeah, back in my day, But that first video was literally took me 20 takes to do the first video. And part of it is I was very critical of myself, and we're like the most critical of ourselves. And that's why many people don't do video. I remember I did a training for your guys' group, and I say this, I did this about a year and a half ago or so. And I remember I went in there, you guys had me train on video then. And what was funny was before I went to do that training, because I know you guys are huge on video, like you're always talking about it. It's one of your main things that you guys do. So I went into your group, and I'm going through and I'm seeing all the active commenters. And I remember like going to their profiles and just looking 30 minutes before I went on. And I'm like, John and Nadya are talking about doing videos all the time. And here's some of their top people. And I'm not seeing any videos on their profiles, you know? And so that was, as a coach, as a trainer, I always like to find where I can challenge people to think bigger and be better. And there is an initial fear of doing video, and I had that. Everybody had it. I'm sure you guys did. Maybe not John and Nadya. I mean, they're just like, awesome.
Well,
but
we had it.
Yeah. See, and
it's weird when you first start talking to yourself.
It is.
God.
Yeah. You're basically talking to yourself when you first start doing videos, right? Especially back before live video, you're literally by yourself having a conversation. And it's awkward for sure. And then, of course, like you said, you're your own worst critic. So you're like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Let me start again, keep starting all over. And, Nadya was very hard on herself.
Yeah.
She was very critical. And luckily when live video came out, I think a lot more people got courageous because they're like, hey, I'm live. Like it's nothing I could do. Like, I didn't mean to say that, but I'm just going to roll with it. Right.
Well, I remember when we were in the mastermind together and live video was just becoming a big thing. And Nadya's walking around with this big, huge, honking like selfie stick doing, lives everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh, Mark, I'm doing a live. I got to have you on it.
Like on Periscope.
And what's cool is I love that because if you ever go to an event, whenever we get to go to them again, get around Nadya and just let her throw you on a live if you're nervous about it, because that's one way to break out of it, But the reality of it is the more you do it, there's always fear and trepidation, and there's always like 2 or 3 main reasons people are afraid of it. And number one, they're afraid of, they don't know what to say, and they're also afraid of what other people might think of them. And those are really the 2 biggest fears that people have. And there's one thing I've learned over the years is that if you try to hide yourself from criticism, you're never going to go anywhere. You're just never. The biggest people in history that have ever had major positive influences on the world, they all have their lovers and they have their critics as well, and I a lot of times will tell people like, just get in there, start doing video. And I guarantee you will have your critics. It's just a guarantee. But you can't allow those people to throw you off your dream. If your dream is big enough, what's one person, because you're going to get a whole bunch of positive comments, but unfortunately we tend to focus on, the one little comment that was negative. We may get 15 positives, then we get that one negative, and then we're like, oh man, I quit, and that's really a tragedy.
Yeah. It's very similar to network marketing, actually.
Yeah.
How many people get started and they reach out to some people and their uncle is like super negative, their best friend, their coworker, and I think that's actually why. I mean, I've had students, I've had people on my team, and they're like, I don't want to do videos because I don't want my brother-in-law to see them, or I don't want my dad to see them. Right. I don't want, and it just stinks because like you said, most people are naturally encouraging, human behavior. Most of us are like, an encourager. We're going to support someone. But for some reason, a lot of times it's our closest friends and family that are the one. Remember the one woman we had and her parents were like, or not her, her whole family, I think, but it was her parents and her spouse. They were like, you look like you're having a nervous breakdown. Like, why are you doing these videos? And of course, she was an attorney by trade. Her whole family, they were attorneys and professionals and like non-entrepreneurial minded people. And none of them use social media for, business purposes. And it was tough because those were like, again, it's like her spouse, her parents, like the people you care most about that you're closest to.
It's rejection. Everybody's got this fear of rejection, and
that's painful.
And I get it. It's a very real fear. But at some point, you've got to go, you know what? unless they're literally paying my bills for me, I'm to the point where I don't care.
Right.
Like if you're not going to pay my bills, then you have no say.
Right.
And we have to get that mentality with whatever we're doing, really, whether it's network marketing or any other business or any other thing where you step out and you got a message to share.
Right. Where should someone start? If they're wanting to start doing videos, maybe they did videos. How many of us smashed the hard button? If you're guilty of this, you started doing videos and then you don't really have a reason why you stopped. You just stopped doing videos. Life got in the way and you're like, how do I get back into that flow? So maybe you've never done videos or you're trying to figure out how you get started again, or maybe you're not loving Facebook. Maybe you're wanting to diversify. So we can talk a little bit about that. But Mark, I would love your feedback and your insight on where should someone start?
So the quickest way to get started, let's say you've got somebody who's just never made videos before and they're not sure how to do it. So the easiest way, obviously, is right here. Cell phones are the most easiest way to do it. You don't need any special equipment. I mean, literally you can just start, click it on and go. And what I usually recommend is if people have never done videos before and they're just completely and totally feared, I mean, they're just gripped on doing a video, do 5 videos and don't send them to anybody. Just do them for yourself to like get over that initial kind of nervousness. And break the monotony is really what it is. Break that inertia, and get yourself going. And then do 5 videos and send them to 2 or 3 people and, get their take on it, and then from there, what happens is you'll find after you start to do like your second or your third one, now it's like you start to get into a little bit of a flow and you realize they're really not that hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think most people think that as soon as the video comes on, they've got to be like, hello, I'm Mr. MLM sales guy. And I'm going to, it's like they immediately go into this. It's like Jekyll and Hyde mode where they got to be something they're not. And I mean, look, some of the best videos are like, hey, us just sitting here talking, sharing some value. And it's the same thing we would do if we're literally sitting in a room together, talking about marketing or something like that.
Right. Well, they're trying to get likes. They're trying to get comments. And it's like when you're trying too hard, and you have that like commission breath, right? You're trying to like get a sale, get a recruit. You're trying to get likes and you want like you come across as desperate, needy, whatever word or term you want to use. But I think ultimately it's about impact. It's about, helping people. How can you answer questions and share your perspective, your insights, take people on a journey with you, share your story, have fun with it. I love doing dual broadcasts. I think that's a great way to start doing videos. In fact, I had somebody suggest this years ago and I thought it was a really great idea. You could start your own Facebook group by yourself. You're the only member and just start doing live videos in there by yourself just to get used to doing videos. And you're not going to do like 50, but like you said, do 3, 4, 5, live videos just so you get used to it. And you're the only member in the group. So no one else can see it. Right. It's just getting
so funny to say that
live.
So it's so funny you say that because I just recently started using like a live software similar to what you have here. And I was like, well, I haven't used the software. I'd really like to use it. So I created my own test group. And I probably got 10 videos in this test group of me, playing around, learning how it works. And that's one of the best ways to do it as well. Like just do it to get a little movement under your belt. And you'll realize, I mean, it's like anything. The more you do, the better you get.
Right. And when you're comfortable, I mean, it's the same thing with doing presentations or public speaking. Like I used to be terrified of public speaking, smash the hard button if you can relate to this. I used to be so terrified of public speaking, but it was mostly because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get up there and be like, sorry, guys, I don't know what I was going to say. You don't want that to happen, right? So it's all about preparation.
Yeah.
And if think about this, I want you all to write this down right now. Think about things that you feel that you're an expert on. Could be fitness. It could be, your favorite sports team. Like if someone started talking to you about a sports team, specific team, maybe a specific sport, maybe you know every player in the NFL. You could talk about that all day. You wouldn't have to overthink it. And it's the same thing with anything. You just get used to the conversation. You get used to talking about it. And, video really for me in the beginning, Mark, I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me in the beginning, I think it was Ray Higdon was was the one I heard say this. I don't remember for sure, but I feel like it was Ray that said, just act like you're talking to one person. You're not, standing on stage in front of a large audience of people. Right. And sometimes we kind of come across that way. Yeah. And you're not going to have the same connection as if you're looking right in the camera dot, especially from your phone, right? It's super easy. Yeah. Look at the camera dot and you just act as if you're talking to one person. So what I would do is I would picture certain people. Could be a family member, could be someone in my downline, it could be a coworker, whatever. I could even have a conversation as if I was talking to myself 5 years ago or 10 years ago and giving advice, giving some coaching, some consultation. And that really helped me. So I made the conversation, I made the video about a person. I might not say their name or actually address this person per se, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm just talking to that guy. I'm talking to that woman. I'm having that conversation. And I felt like it was much more effective for me. And I felt more comfortable. And then, of course, people that were watching the video were like, man, it was like you were talking right to me. And I'm like, perfect. Right. It was such a great way for me to get started in the beginning. And I think, with live videos, sometimes you start seeing people pop on. The worst is when you see like when you're brand new, right? I'll have someone their first couple videos and they have like, 2 live video viewers and one of them's me. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this right now. I just meant to hop on to, like, hey, good job. Like, keep it up. And then I hop off and I feel bad because they're probably like 2, 1, 0. And it starts to affect your positivity and your flow. So maybe just swipe the comments. We used to tell people to put the little sticky note, over the deal. So you can't even see the number of people and just act like you're talking to one person. So you wouldn't even know if you had 500 people on, your video went viral, or you had nobody on, because you're making it about the content and not about how many likes and viewers and, all the things that really don't matter.
Right. Yeah. And that's really what it is. And I mean, I think that, there's so much truth in just like speaking to one person. It is so crucial because when you really think about it, there's only one person watching your video at a time. You know? Right. So like if I speak directly to somebody and I say, how would you like to be able to do this? Instead of, hey guys, and it's so different because when you're speaking to one person, that's really the way it is. Right. And that's where it's most powerful. And that's where you're going to get the most effectiveness in what it is that you're doing, But you just get better over time. And I was telling, I think I was telling you right before we came on, but I have a Vimeo account because I create a lot of training courses and things like that. And I have nearly 1,100 videos in my Vimeo account. Wow. Then I've got, several YouTube channels out there that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on them as well. And, it's pretty wild to think that I've, created so many videos, and that's not even all of them. I've got a whole ton of them still that I've never uploaded,
And I'm sure sometimes you still get nervous, right? There's still times where maybe it's a different audience or a certain topic. Yeah. And I still sweat. I got to crank down the AC. First of all, I got all these lights on me. Second of all, you get hot and fired up, and it's just natural to have some nervous energy, especially when you're new. Yeah. But the way I look at it is, I'm going to suck at first. So it's like people be like, I don't have that many people watching my videos. I'm like, well, when you suck, that's probably a good thing. You'd rather there's less witnesses.
Favorite quote. I've loved it ever since I heard it. And it's that successful people feel fear and do it anyway.
Boom. That's it.
That's all it is, And you don't want, to be truthful, like your first few videos, if you don't have people on it, you're actually in an advantage. Yeah. Because I have one of my coaching clients one time, they're learning how to do webinars. They really wanted to do webinars. So I'm teaching them how to do webinars and how to sell on a webinar. And so they do their first webinar and he's like, nobody showed up. I'm like, good, man. Like, and then he's like, but it was probably a good thing because I realized 45 minutes in that I forgot to share my screen. And I'm like, see, that's exactly why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of perspective for sure.
Yep.
Gary, you like that? Less witnesses. It's true.
Exactly.
Monica says, I don't believe you, John. You're a pro. Look, it's interesting. In the beginning, when I first started doing videos, I really wasn't that nervous. But I think that was because I had 14 years of doing presentations and public speaking and that sort of thing. But like I had to interview Les Brown last week. I was nervous, even though he did all the talking. I was nervous just because, it's Les Brown and you want to do a good job introducing him and you want, the technology to work well. There's other things that make you nervous or stress you out. You just mentioned webinars. Dude, how many times have we done a webinar and the freaking system crashed, the comments, people get kicked off, the internet boots you off? I mean, there's other reasons to get stressed because, new levels, new devils, right? Yeah. So as we get bigger, we have a bigger audience, more followers. You want to continue to show up and get out there and do a good job every time you do videos. Yep. But for me, in the beginning, I think the reason I was more comfortable than most people, because I finally got over my fear of public speaking after 10 years of doing public speaking. That was my biggest holdup in the beginning when I got started in network marketing, is I didn't want to talk in front of people. I used to tell people, I used to tell my upline, if you try to put me in front of the room, just know that I'm going to literally walk out of the room. I'll bring people to the meeting. But if you try to do some, shady stuff where you're like, oh, we want to bring up John Melton, because they knew they could put me on the spot and I'd be sitting there. I'm like, I'll walk out. Like, I literally would threaten them, like, don't bring me up. That's how deathly terrified I was of public speaking. So for those of you that are afraid of public speaking or you're afraid of videos, it really boils down to you embracing the fear and doing it anyway, just like Mark said, because the truth is, if you want to be successful, if you're serious about your business, the people that make the most money are the ones on stage. They are the ones on video. They are the ones running the calls and doing the things. So you're just going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I love the Brene Brown quote, which is why I've been quoting this so much over the last couple months. She says, choose courage over comfort. Yeah. Choose courage over comfort. And I absolutely freaking love that. So Mark, I want to ask you a couple questions. Number one, and I get this all the time, especially right now, because I think we can all appreciate that engagement is down. Yeah. The algorithm, all the things going on. It's not as easy to get people on videos. There's so many people doing videos these days. Yeah. So how do you get more engagement? What's your advice on that?
So the first thing, we talked about a little bit earlier about doing a little bit of planning before. Okay. When you do a live, the very first thing is, number one, you decide what you're going to talk about. Right. But what is going to grab people's attention? So let's just talk about live video for a second. And this really, the same thing applies to a YouTube video where maybe you're not doing it live, you're just doing it and uploading it. But it all starts with a catchy headline. Yeah. It all starts with a catchy headline. And, some people, it starts with a catchy headline, but it starts with also understanding, what do people want and need to hear about what you want to share? Like, what are some, I like to call them almost bombshells or challenge conventional way of thinking that you can share. Controversial, and we were just talking about this, things that tend to be slightly controversial attract a lot of people. This is a great way to do it too. But headlines are what really make the difference, because if somebody's scrolling, what's going to grab them is a quick headline that hits on a pain point or something that they want to know about. Right. And that's how you're going to attract people. So I have a very simple formula. I don't always use it, but it's one that I use very often for writing headlines. And it's the how to blank without blank formula. How to get all the things you really want without all the sucky things. Yeah. So, it could be like, how to lose that last 5 pounds without fad diets or starving yourself. Right. See what I mean? And if you use that headline formula, I guarantee you're going to get a lot more traction using that style of a headline, especially on a live.
How to get the yay without the boo.
Yeah, exactly. How to get everything you ever wanted without having to do all that sucky stuff you don't like.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. Yeah, I came up with one, how to kill a spider without getting anywhere near it. Nadya said you shouldn't kill spiders, they're creatures too.
Yeah, they're God's creatures.
Right, but I love that. And I think ultimately it's again, playing with it, doing it, showing up, figuring out what your audience responds to. And if the audience isn't responding, maybe mix it up. Maybe start doing things that are more controversial or doing things you're a little bit uncomfortable talking about. So I guess my question for you, Mark, is how does someone come up with headlines? I think you had a resource that you were going to recommend.
Yeah. So what I'm going to give you guys, and you can put it in your team group, is I have this PDF document that I put together. It's called 101 Hot Live Stream Ideas, Prime Topics Designed to Attract Your Ideal Prospects. So what these do is you can look at them And let me just I'll give you a couple examples off here of topics that you can talk about on your videos. So create a live video of physical products that you've purchased. Review info products or courses that you've purchased. Review software, review books. I mean, how many times are we telling people, get into personal development? You know, my gosh, you know, I just got this brand new book right here. I'm excited to read it. You know, Russell Brunson. I'm excited to go through it. So once you read it, heck, get on a live video and talk about it. You know what I mean? What you learned from it, what was great about it. You know, talk about, bring on a leader, interview somebody. You know, I mean, there's so many ideas that you can use. So I think this PDF really kind of takes away that thing of, well, I don't know what to talk about, you know, and it's more of a memory jogger. But if you take it down and you do a little bit of planning prior to, I would suggest when you go to do a live video, come up with at least 3 major points that you want to hit in your video.
Yeah.
And, you know, have those, put them on a little sticky note or something like that. And one of the things that I do a lot of times with videos, I'm not a huge fan of scripting videos because I think it comes off kind of inauthentic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case for all videos, but I like to just have a few points and like, here's my camera right here. I'll take the sticky note and I'll literally put it right below the camera. You won't even know that I have any notes there because I just glance at it and it gives me my next point, you know, to talk about. Yeah. And so there's really 3 major points or 3 pain points that you want to cover. Maybe you're talking about vitamins and the 3 misconceptions about vitamins. One of the things that are really powerful with videos are what we call listicle videos. You know, 3 ways to do this, 5 misconceptions of this, 7 ways to get more leads doing this, 7 ways to increase your energy every day with these simple strategies. You know, that are simple and easy to do. You know, things like that. Listicles are very powerful because people love steps.
Right.
You know, 3 steps to doing this, 3 this. If you look at a lot of my content, I use listicles all the time.
Yeah.
People love them. You know?
Yeah, people love that too because it's they know they're walking away with something specific.
Yeah.
So it's specific. It's like you said, it's listed. It's actionable. Nadya said, I like that, baby. That's a really good one. Yeah. So I think ultimately being prepared, having some notes, and I love what you said about, you know, referencing content that you're also learning, because then you're like, hey, I watched this video. I went through this course. I read this book. Here were my biggest takeaways. So you're literally just sharing with people what you're learning. You're sharing with people your aha moment. So that's something we've been doing for years. You know, it is interesting because, you know, you could learn someone else's information and use that information to generate leads, build a following. It's not even original content. And you say, hey, I got it from this podcast. I learned this in this book. It's not like, so sometimes people think, well, isn't that like stealing or isn't that plagiarism? It's like, no, you're acknowledging where you got the information from.
And you're putting it in your own words.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's not like, I mean, you could very easily get on a training. Like, let's just say this video right here, this video that we're doing together, you could immediately go off it and go, the 3 top things I just learned about video marketing that blew me away, or, you know, whatever, you know, right. And you can go and take these points and share them, put them in your own words. I had this aha moment when I saw that, look, it's so simple to do. It's not difficult, you know? Yeah. So you can turn right around and learn something and turn right around and share it with someone else, you know?
And the other thing too, is your videos don't need to be long.
No,
you can do 5-minute videos, 3-minute videos. I mean, you look at TikTok, there's some of these viral videos on TikTok, they're 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Some of them are even shorter than that. Yeah. And, you know, TikTok's a great example. Nadya wanted to learn TikTok. She was having fun watching the videos. This was last year. So she's like, I'm going to download the app. Or she already at that point had downloaded the app, but I'm going to just start creating content and I'm going to start modeling some of my favorite videos. And that's really the point of TikTok. You're literally finding a video.
I've seen some of Nadya's TikToks. They're hilarious.
Right. They're great. And she does it in her own way. She puts her own perspective. So a lot of times you'll see some of these videos that do well. They're not, in fact, most of the videos that do really well, they're not the ones that originated the dance, the joke, they weren't the ones that created the voiceover, right?
Yeah.
But they just modeled it. They took it and put their own twist on it.
Yeah.
And that's really the whole point of that app. And some of those videos literally have millions and millions of views. I mean, the top influencer over there, she's like a 15-year-old girl with like 54 million followers. And she's 15, y'all. She can't even legally vote. She can't drive a car. She can't buy alcohol. And she's got 50 million followers. So, is there value in doing videos? Yeah. Do you have to dance in your videos? No. Do you have to use TikTok? No. The point is, start showing up.
Yeah.
Whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Now, I would like to ask you, Mark, how should someone determine which social media platform to start with? What would be your advice on that?
Well, I would just start with where you predominantly are every day.
Yeah.
So if you're on Facebook quite a bit every day, start there.
Yeah.
If you're a YouTube person and you spend a lot of time on YouTube, then you might want to start there. But
Right.
the beauty of it is that, if you really want to, after you get comfortable doing videos and you're ready to start branching out, I mean, look at what we're doing here with this software here that's streaming out to several different places at once in one video. And this is what's interesting is what we're doing right now. I remember about 3-4 years ago, I was talking to a developer and I told him, I'm like, look, he's like, I make apps and I do these things like, I'm looking for some good, it was at an event. It was at a networking party at an event. He's like, I'm looking for some good ideas. And I'm like, come up with the first multi-streaming platform where you can do one video and it goes out to multiple platforms. And then all of a sudden they start coming up. I don't know if they did it. That's probably $1 million idea I gave away, but it's
a
all
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer because people are like, where should I start? And it's like, well, you have a platform like this, software like this. You're showing up. I mean, right now we're live on YouTube. For those of you that are getting on late, we're on YouTube live. We're on Twitter live through Periscope, right? People are like, Periscope, it's still here. Yeah, well, I mean, Twitter owns it, so that's what they use. And then we're live on Facebook, my Facebook profile, the business page, and a Facebook group. So 5 places at once. Michael Bloom says Periscope is a little faster than Facebook. That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Facebook had a lot of issues recently, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and it's just, it really is. It comes down to just start where you are. And then, we're using software here. I use software when I do it. It's not like I started out doing that.
Right.
We just start out, and then as you get better and you feel more comfortable, now you can start branching out and get a little fancier.
Yeah.
Where you're doing and stuff like that. But so that's really kind of the easiest ways to get started. But a little pre-thought, a little thinking ahead, in planning your live every day. I mean, seriously, sit down, spend 20 minutes, come up with a good headline, some good solid points. And then when you get on the video and you're ready, you've got it planned a little bit.
And then how often do you suggest that people do videos?
That really depends. I mean, honestly, in the beginning, I mean, unless you have some other, marketing strategies you're working on or something like that, there's no reason you can't really do one every day. I mean, essentially, lives are so really easy, a little bit of prep work, and 20 minutes or so thinking it through, hopping on, sharing what you need to share and getting off. I mean, heck, you can almost do it a couple times a day if you really had that much content and things you wanted to share. So there's no set, thing on how many you should do. But, I know people that do a live once a week and then spend the whole week promoting that live.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to say there's weekly shows like we do Money Monday every Monday. Yeah. Now we do a lot more videos than just that, but I like having one a week that people can rely on. We always get the most people on our Money Monday. A lot of times we'll have over 200 people combined with all the different platforms. We did the FTC conversation a couple weeks ago that had like 380 at the peak, right? From all the platforms. Cause again, it was controversial. It was something trending. Some people are asking which software we're using. We're using StreamYard. That's our favorite right now, but ask us again in a couple months. It might be something else, but for right now, we love StreamYard. But, the weekly show, Tanya does Tuesdays with Tanya. Marina Simone does every Tuesday. Ray Higdon has Free Coaching Fridays. But then I remember my buddy Bob Heilig. Bob started out doing Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. every day. For him, he liked having a morning show. I think now he does noon every day, like Monday through Friday. Some people like doing every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some people literally, they do one video a week. They don't go live. They don't do anything else. They do one video a week. And like you said, they promote the heck out of it. And because it's once a week, like Fraser Brooks, I had him on a couple weeks ago. And Fraser, I think, does lives I want to say he does Tuesday also. But, that's the only video he does. So it gets a ton of engagement.
Yeah. And you know what? One video a week is better than no videos a week.
Bingo.
And a sucky video a week is better than no videos a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like any way you look at it, it's doing anything is better than nothing, and, but it's totally true. You just have to kind of figure out what your schedule is and ramp it up from there. The more you do, the more traction you're potentially going to get to. And just so you know, like I'm finding in search results, literally videos on YouTube are showing up in the search results. Like yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it several times. Where, you search in. So, a lot of people don't realize, but Facebook is now giving people, areas where you can fill in, keywords. If somebody goes to the top of Facebook and does a search for something, and you've got some keywords in there, your video might show up, and I'm seeing them rank in Google now,
That's interesting. That's really cool too, because that's one of the powerful reasons to be on YouTube. Yeah. It's because of the search engine. Facebook hasn't really had that. So if that's something they're starting to do, that's really cool. And then two things. One, for those of you that maybe are also uncomfortable with video or you want to get more comfortable, I really like using, and this is something I've been teaching for a while, but I personally do this myself, is showing my face on my Instagram and Facebook stories. So what I do is I do Instagram stories. That's where I originate the content. And then I have it connected to Facebook stories. So it automatically shows up on Facebook Messenger stories, Facebook stories. I don't know how many of you realize, but there's actually 2 different locations to see stories and post stories, Facebook Messenger and your Facebook feed. But I have it automatically connected from IG. So when I do an Instagram story, it automatically shows on Facebook stories, but I would suggest that you show your face every day. Now it could be a 15-second video on IG stories / Facebook stories, but that's another great way to promote your video. So if you say, hey, I'm going live tonight, let me build up the video that I'm doing tonight through my stories, through my posts. Also, you can go into the comments of previous videos and let people know you're about to go live and what the topic is. So just some different ideas. Mark, I'd like for you to wrap up with talking about generating leads. Like how does someone specifically generate leads to sell their product, promote their business through video, their network marketing business, their network marketing products, et cetera?
So obviously one of the big things is the whole goal here is to generate business, not just going out there to create fun, which we should create fun videos, but we're not just doing it to be goofy and, be a YouTuber, that let's talk about dumb stuff and get a big audience. We're actually out there with a purpose too. And one of the greatest ways to do that is the call to action, and it's what with a call to action, really what that is when you're in your planning phase of doing a video, you get your headline, you get some bullets together, and you got to figure out too where do you want to send people? Like, what is your ultimate goal? Do you want them to reach out to you? Do you want them to comment in the best way I think to do it, especially if you're on Facebook, is to say, have some type of call to action. And if you like what I shared here, hey, I've put together a document with 27 of these tips. If you want them, just comment on the down here and tell me, send me the tips, comment, send me the tips, or just comment tips and I'll come back and I'll get it for you, or if it's, you want to do a sample or something. Hey, I've got something that's really helped me. If you got some interest, just type in info below and I'll get back with you after I'm done here on the video. Right. Simple things like that. But the call to action is something you do want to think it through a little bit of where you want to send people, because the topic of what you're going to talk about is really a pre-sell to the end of where you want to take them. Yeah. So if you want to kind of have it in line somewhat. So for me, if I'm going to teach something, I teach marketing. So if I'm going to teach something about Facebook marketing, I probably want to have something at the end that's related to that, that I can send them to. If I'm talking about dogs and, maybe I have something at the end related to dogs, You know, you don't want to have something at the end related to cats because that's not congruent with, you know, what you're talking about.
Right.
So you got to think that through a little bit, but it's really not difficult. But the call to action is important, and the call to action is not something you should get weirded out over. Like I've literally watched people, they do a video, it's a killer video. And soon as they get to the call to action, like I see their lips start twitching. You're like, oh gosh, you know, like start getting nervous. It's just like, it can be very soft. It can be very subtle. Hey, you know what? I've been working on this project for a while. I think you'd really get a lot of benefit out of it. If you liked what you hear today, put info in the comments below and I'll send it to you when I'm done here.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
something as simple as that.
And you're just sharing information. You're educating. You're not selling. You're explaining. You're not selling. And I love the call to action because I think ultimately it's a really easy way to get people in your inbox, to get people to comment, and you're not having to sell the thing on the live video. You're just saying, hey, if you want more information, shoot me a message, right? If you want more information, drop a comment. Very simple.
Well, and here's one of the other cool things that I think would be and it's something, you know, obviously when you're prospecting people like on Messenger or you're reaching out to people and connecting, rather than just kind of asking them like, hey, would you be open to this? Maybe your conversation goes in a way like, hey, you know what? A couple weeks ago, I created a video talking just about this topic. If you want, I can share it with you and you can check it out.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything other than just share your video. Let the video do the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many ways that you can use content to buffer the pitch, so to speak, you know, because nobody likes being pitched. A lot of people can smell a pitch coming. But if you have a way to buffer the pitch, wrap it in value, it's like people, they get it. You know,
that's a big part of like the ATM system we teach. We tell people like when you're doing your video, your curiosity post, or your Instagram story, promoting your product, when they ask for information, add them to a group and tag them in a video.
Yeah.
Let the video do the talking.
Let the video do the work.
Yeah.
It's the perfect duplication, man.
Exactly. It's so simple. And we just overcomplicate it because we think we need to be the expert. We need to be the one selling and telling and you know, doing the thing. And let the tool do the talking, right? Don't be a fool, use a tool. I'm all about it. So I appreciate it. Any other closing thoughts regarding video, promoting video?
Definitely. There's what I'll do is I'm actually working on another PDF at the moment, and it's a whole bunch of ways you can promote your content. So once I get that done, I'll send it to you guys. You could drop it in there. It might be another week or so, but there's so many different ways that you can do it. I mean, you know, you brought up a great one, just promoting. Like when you're getting ready, when say an hour from now, you're going to do a live video, get on your stories and say, hey, in 1 hour, I'm going to be sharing about this. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you get on my page. And then when you're done, you could do the exact same thing. Hey, I just did a video. You want to make sure you get it. Don't miss it. You know,
right.
You know, whatever. And those are the simplified ones, but there's other places. Take the video. There's little browser extensions you can get where you can literally download the video. If you're not using a software like this, download the video, go upload it to YouTube. You can take it over to Pinterest. You can put it on Pinterest. There's all these other places that you can do it. There's so many different ways you can take content and have it repurposed. You know, you could even have is you do a video, run over to rev.com, have it transcribed for $1 a minute. Okay. Then you take the transcription and you turn it into long story posts.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many things you can do to repurpose it. And one piece of content you could share it for weeks.
Yeah. It's crazy. We were listening to Gary V. I don't remember what it was. It was maybe a podcast. Anyway, he has like 37 people. Is that right? 37 people?
Yeah.
36 people that help him repurpose his content. That's their sole purpose. 36 humans that are repurposing. Now, of course, he has a lot of content to repurpose. He's got a multi-million-dollar business. Yeah. He's playing on a different level than most of us, but you know, that's that high level game where you're taking a video conversation like this. Yeah, we're projecting it 5 places live right now, but we could take this video or take the audio, upload it for our new podcast, which, by the way, we just launched our podcast officially, the My Lifestyle Academy podcast, mylifestyleacademy.com/podcast.
Yeah.
Excited. So we can use the audio for this. We could take some of this video, chop it up into a shorter video for IGTV. So there's so much you can do with creating content up front, and then on the back end, take it and repurpose it, turn it into memes, story posts. There's so
People
much
are truly not maximizing what they can do with their content.
Exactly.
One video can be turned into 30 separate pieces of content.
right.
You literally, if you just did one video a week and then you spent the rest of the week chopping it up and turning it into, quote cards and long form posts and little short videos that you can put on Instagram or your Facebook page or something like that. Think about what'll happen after, say 3 months, doing a video a week for 3 months. That gives you 12 pieces of content, and all the little things that you've created, you could recycle that stuff over and over. There's old pieces of content that I recycle all the time. You want to know why? Because it's something I created 6 months ago, people don't remember.
Right.
And there's a whole new slew of people that will see it that didn't see it before. I mean, content creation is it is such a powerful thing when you realize that one piece can be on the internet forever working for you.
Right.
But most people do a Facebook Live and just goes right down the feed and gone forever.
Yep. No, it's so true. They don't download their video. Yep. Their video's never reused again. That's another reason I go into my memories every day, because there's videos or posts that I've used in the past.
Yep.
And I'll post something that I posted 1 year ago on the same day. I'll post it today. It'll blow up because it blew up a year ago. Why won't it blow up again? Right? Or take a live video that I did in the past and do it as a watch party on a day that I don't feel like going live.
Watch parties. It's a beautiful thing. You know?
Let's say tomorrow I don't have a video. Maybe I'm not doing a video. Maybe I don't have time to do a video publicly. I could take a video that I did in the past that did really well and just watch party that bad boy. Right? Now, there'll be less people on. There will be less people on than maybe when it was the original live video, but who cares? Even if there's 10 people that watch it, those are 10 people watching a video that I did a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freaking awesome.
I know. Seriously. I mean, have you noticed too, Ray recently, he's finding posts from 5 years ago and he just comments on it and it shoots it right back to the top of the news feed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much you can do with this stuff, man. Talk about algorithms. Facebook loves to take an old post. They got a lot of interaction and drop it back in the news feed and it starts a whole new thing again.
Right. It's genius. Genius. Mark, I appreciate you, brother. You're the man.
This marketing stuff gets me so geeky.
It makes sense. Your name's Mark. I mean, hello.
I know, man. My name's in marketing.
All right, listen, y'all, if you love this episode, if you love this conversation, I challenge you to start doing videos. If you're doing once a week, do twice a week. If you're doing twice a week, do every day. Look, you want to get good at something, go live every day. Now, listen, your live video could be 3 minutes. Doesn't have to be this long. It doesn't have to be 47 minutes. It could be 4 minutes. Just start showing up, putting your personality out there, showing your authenticity and your style, your perspective on things. You show your personality, you have fun, you get inside of groups that have like-minded people that you can relate to. And then they watch your videos. They realize they want to do business with you, buy your products. How do you think we did what we did over the last several years? Building our brand, building our businesses online. It's been leveraging this aspect of social media, video. It flat out works. Start doing it. And if you love this conversation, make sure you follow Mark, smash the heart button, share the broadcast, tag some teammates, because this can help network marketers all over the world generate more leads, build a personal brand, build a following, put out content. And it's not about selling. It's not about you pitching your business all the time. In fact, the reason I don't have to pitch my business all the time and I don't have to pitch my products is because we built a brand and we put out so much value in the marketplace that people come to us. They want to know what we do. They want to understand what we have to offer because they love our free stuff. So they want to know what our paid stuff is like. Does that make sense? That's how we sell academies. That's how we crush it in affiliate launches. That's how we crush it in our network marketing business. We just had our biggest month of our career last month. And in addition to that,
middle of a pandemic,
this month is the companies, I think they said they're 60% ahead of where we were last month on this same day. So things are doing really well right now, but this is years in the making. And it started with us leveraging social media and specifically doing videos back in 2013. 7 years is not that long. No. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that long.
I always tell people time is going to pass regardless.
Right.
Why not put some stuff out there? I get leads still from videos I did 5 and 6 years ago, man.
It's ridiculous.
You want to know why I know? Because I track it. I still get little, I can track where people are coming from. So it's it's beautiful, man. Like this thing is really not that hard. And if you're not having fun, you're definitely doing it wrong.
Amen.
Well, it should be. It should be. Yeah, I love this stuff.
I mean, you can just tell it's something you're passionate about, and that's That's it. And it might not be a passion at first because you're not good at it, but it's like anything else. My son, not several months ago, it's like a year ago. He's like, I don't really know if I want to pitch. And I was like, it's because you're not pitching well.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I like it. I'm like, believe me, if you were throwing no hitters, you would love pitching. You used to love it. You're just not pitching as well as you used to. So of course, this past season, of course, right now we're supposed to be in a season, but we're not for obvious reasons. However, in the fall and towards the end of last summer, I mean, he was lights out. He became one of the better pitchers on the team and was being utilized more often, put in situations. And guess what? Guess what he now loves?
Pitching.
So the reason you say you don't like doing videos or you don't like network marketing, and I don't know how many of you have even necessarily been doing videos, but I feel like once you start doing them consistently, you almost feel weird not doing them. You start to enjoy them. Like if I don't do a video for a day, I start like, twitching a little bit. I'm like, I know what's wrong. I haven't done a video. Like that's it. Yeah. Start showing up, man. And you know what? You start to notice people are thanking you. People are telling you that you inspired them. Thanks for the advice. Thanks for that video. That's how you know you're on the right track. I talked about that yesterday. If you really want to know you're on the right track, start paying attention to the comments, start paying attention to the messages, and you'll start to get an idea of like, if you're on the right path because people are starting to say thank you.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we thank you, Mark. You're the man.
Hey, man, anytime you guys want me to come out, I love sharing this stuff. I could talk about this stuff for hours. And I'll never get bored of it, So awesome. Anytime somebody asks me to come on, I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. I got to have that outlet,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Well, good luck with the move. I know you're headed to Ohio. Is it next week?
No, next month.
Next month, okay.
Leaving the shores of Florida to go to the snow-infested region of Ohio. But I got all my family up north, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Very cool, man. Well, good luck with the move. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Mark. We love you.
Yeah, love you. You guys are awesome. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
Bye, everyone.